Hello, hello, sisters, sisters of the moon, sisters of the new moon, sisters of this new moon eclipse today. So amazing that we are, you know, reflected in by the cosmos in all of these very cool ways. Yes, we are. So I am promptedly, impromptu. I'm here impromptily, just to, yeah, impromptu, to share a hello and a brief meditation and some card pulls if anybody desires. Hello, Suzanne. Happy belated birthday to you. Beautiful. I hope it was a gloriously wonderful day. So, yes, I know you are also on your bleed. So, I just started my bleed yesterday. Yeah, so even more powerful, right? This new moon, body emptying out of blood, body letting go. We have this opportunity every month to really and be aware of with our blood cycles what we're letting go of. This physical matter of the blood is the buildup of the whole month before that was preparing, aligning for new life to get into. And when we don't have conception happen, then we bleed. And so all of this is this beautiful lining, and we get to infuse that with the power of letting go and birthing and releasing things that we no longer desire anymore in our lives, as well as infusing the blood with the power of what we want to birth. So, interestingly, also, this is a Scorpio no moon, which is rebirth, that death and rebirth time as well. So, if any of you other ladies out there are bleeding right now, it is an extra powerful time, right, for infusing the blood with release, letting go, and rebirthing and what you're rebirthing in your life. And that can be parts of yourself, it can be parts of relationship, it can be parts of your business, your vision, your dreams. So, yeah, my body is also shedding lots of blood. So, as many of you know, this month has been the focus for me has been reveal. And interestingly enough, I chose this before I even knew, that there was going to be an eclipse at this time. Um, but the eclipse is so much about revealing our shadows to ourselves, moving into the shadow aspects of ourselves, to allow them to be seen, to allow them to be felt by us, to allow them to be witnessed and loved by us, for first and foremostly. When we allow ourselves to open up to the shadowy parts of ourselves and learn to love them, then we are in an active process of healing and integrating ourselves, right? We get to do this with ourselves also every month when we bleed as women, because that is an initiation time for us to really be in a space of working with our shadows monthly, right? In the classical PMS time is when our deeper insecurities come up, our doubts, our work in life, the parts of ourselves that still desire more of our loving attention come forward. So we have this initiation as well during the PMS and bleed time when we're more sensitive to learn to be with our shadows, to learn to love them, care for them and integrate them into more of a sense of wholeness and healing and our power. And that is very much what the eclipse is about as well. And I am not an astrologer, but I have been reading a lot of things around this eclipse as being a time to really shed and let go of things that are in the way of us being our truest, authentic self. Shedding all of those things that we feel like we have to do to be normal, to be accepted, to be a part of the group. You know, all of this shit that all of us carry to some extent from high school, junior high school, when we are young, you know, and unloved by our parents. We carry all of these things forward. And our life journey is the revealing and the unveiling and letting go of all of these things and loving all of these parts of ourselves that are born from the shadow, those deeper parts. So, this eclipse I have been reading is a lot about releasing these old patterns that are no longer serving who we're becoming. So, these can be thought patterns, they can be habits, they can be relationships, the way that we show up for ourselves, you know, so many different things and layers of really looking into like, okay, what are the something that I need to and desire to let go of to step more fully into my authentic self. So I'm curious what that is for you. What comes up? If you feel like sharing in the comments if you're live or if you're watching the replay, what are some things that you feel like you are willing and maybe don't even feel totally ready, right, to let go of so that you can be more authentically stepping into the truest version of yourself in your courage, in your power. For me, a lot of that right now is around really embracing some of the deeper, more witchier aspects, priestess aspects of myself in my work, and really learning to trust those things. For me, it's letting go of those things being too weird, that nobody likes that kind of stuff, you know, the deeper witch wound, the wounds from trying to fit in for so long in a culture that didn't see the value in the unseen and the work of magic. But now we all know that that is what the world needs more than ever, yes? So I am in this deeper layer of work of like shedding that old stuff around the worth, the worthiness, and the worth of the work that I do, and claiming that it's really fucking amazing. And the sessions and the work that I do is really powerful. So I'm clearing out old, outdated, sticky places that really don't serve me anymore in relationship to that. And for me right now, because I'm bleeding, I'm focusing on putting that really into the blood as I release it. But there's lots of ways you can release things ritually, yes. You can write these things on a piece of paper and burn them. You can dance them out, move and dance and imagine that you're pushing these things away from you as you move. You can do breath work and breathe to feel the breakthroughs in your breath. What are some of the ways you like to move and release and let go of things? If you feel like sharing, always in the comments. So I'm going to take a minute and take a few breaths here together, and then I'm here also to do any pulling of cards. If there's anybody that would like a card pulled. First, I'm going to take us into some breaths for a few breaths here, not too long. I know we're in the middle of the day, probably, unless you're watching the replay. So taking a moment to close your eyes and really allow yourself to tune into your breath. Inviting in yourself into this container of being closer inside of your body. Allowing any of the voices that might be calling you out or saying, we don't have time for this right now, or we should be doing that, to just rest. Letting them know that you'll be here for a few minutes and that's all. And then we'll move on. Really allowing the breath to be a guide into your body. And then placing your hands on your womb space, on your belly, this place a couple of inches below your belly button. And this is a place for us of power as women, of sacred ground. No matter where you are in your cycles, if you're not cycling anymore, even if you do not have an actual uterus any longer, this place is a portal of power for us as women to learn to anchor ourselves into again as our sacred ground. This is the temple that can hold you as you build a relationship with it. So even if this is brand new, just taking a few minutes to feel your hands on your belly, allowing your breath to deepen into your belly on the inhale and really inviting your belly to fully let go and round out and be so relaxed and poochy and poofy like a baby's. No holding on here. On the exhale, you can let go of anything that you may be holding in your belly. Maybe you're using some sound, some movement, some sighing to get into this. I like to roll my hips, bring myself into my body with my breath and rolling my hips, just feeling myself starting to be poured into this place inside, this place of power. She holds so much of our creativity and so much of our pain and our trauma from our sexuality, from our lives, generational. We get to unwind this as we work with the womb. But right now, we're just going to say hello. And take some breaths to ground into her as your source. And taking a moment to listen to her. Maybe she has some things that she would like to let go of and release right now. If anything's coming up, you can speak it aloud so that you hear yourself. What do you want to let go of? What is she ready to let go of? So that you can be more connected and anchored into your body, to your power. Take 5 more breaths here quietly, feeling beautiful cascade of the inhale and the exhale as a tool for you to let go and bring in the new. Hmm. Always an invitation to make sound. Open your jaw. Sigh. Two more breaths. When you're ready, opening your eyes. Just tuning into if you might feel different than you did even just like 5 minutes ago after sitting here. 3 minutes even. Quietly breathing, tuning into this womb space. I actually have a really beautiful recorded womb meditation as a freebie that I share. And I know some of you have grabbed that through upon entering into the group, but if you did not and you would like access to that meditation, just drop a yes, please in the comments, and I'll make sure that you get linked up with that meditation. It's such a beautiful way for us to really begin our day as women. It's tapping into this portal of our power and allowing her to be a part of who we are again. She's cut off for so many of us. We've left this part of our bodies because of trauma and pain and period pain, all the things. We disconnect. So we get to journey back in here gently and lovingly. So, Suzanne, I think you're still on here. Would you like a card pulled for you? And today I'm using the old Aleister Crowley deck from long ago, but updated with the art, beautiful art on the cards. So Suzanne, if you'd like a card pulled, let me know. I'm not sure how delayed the comments are here because I never know. So I'm going to wait a second. See if you say yes. Maybe if you don't, you could even say no thanks. And that's totally fine. Not everybody is into the whole card pull thing all the time. I'm just going to shuffle them for a minute. All right, well, I'm going to pull one for the collective right now. So whether you are here live or watching the replay, I'm going to pull one for us all on this new moon, lunar, new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio, this time of revealing and letting go. What are some things? What is some wisdom here for us as a collective of empowered, courageous, growing women to let go of? Okay. The card I am pulling for us all is the Two of Wands, Dominion. So I'm going to read this. Hello, Ellen. Hello, lovely. So I just pulled this card for all of us in this collective space. I'm going to read it aloud. Two of Wands. So this was, in this time of letting go right now, in this time of release, the eclipse, what are we letting go of? What to focus on letting go of? So we're letting go of dominion. Keywords are belligerent, centered, energy, controlling or mastering a situation. Let the inner energy clearly exert itself. Okay. The planet Mars, bearer of dynamic powers, is in his own sign, Aries, the pioneer who constantly tries to find new paths and approaches. The energy of progress finds a new direction. The wands are shown as crossed dorjes, the Tibetan symbol of thunderbolts. Their ends bear masks with horse heads, the emblem of temperature, temperament, and power. The arrowheads have serpent ornaments on them, which is a symbol of destruction and subsequent renewal. Very much like the Scorpio. Death and rebirth. The background of the picture shows the meeting of water and fire, an alchemical image for the unification of differing aspects of our being. This union brings forth the new. The acceptance of opposites makes experience possible that can change or broaden our view of ourselves and our lives. The message is try to remain centered. If you manage to stay in touch with your center, you will master any situation. Rely on your power. Do not accept any false compromises. So again, for us as women, that center, diving into that womb space as the center, as the ground for us, is where the center of our creative power, the birthing of ourselves is. So being anchored in and connected to womb space, such an important place for us to drop down into. We're very good at feeling a lot of the time, and feeling our hearts and feeling grief and sadness and mourning for all of the things, and that's really beautiful, but we need to learn how to ground all of that into the womb so that we don't get too washed away and watered over. And we're also very good in this culture being too much in our mind, yes? Too much in that monkey mind. And the womb space anchors that, brings it down. So the question in this card is, which tasks or situations do you perceive as a challenge? So what things in your life right now are you feeling are challenging? And perhaps in this moment right now, these are things that you're feeling are challenging, that you can find some elements to let go of the challenge that you're feeling. How can you recreate an experience with something so that that challenge feels more exciting or less daunting, less overwhelming? And then also having the discernment to see which challenges are like, oh, I don't need to work with this challenge anymore. That one, it's time for that one to go. Right? And that's the new moon energy. That's the energy of this eclipse, letting go of things that are just in the way, that you don't need to be working with anymore. So some of the things we have in our life, right? they're hard, and they're like things that we still need to work on in ourselves. And some of the things we have in our life, it's just like, it's time for that to go now. I've worked with you. And that can be inner, that can be outer, that can be a person, that be a thought pattern. So sometimes we do need to create that dominion, that edge, that boundary, and let it go. So what are those things in your life during this eclipse right now, this new moon, that is time to shed and let go? And the suggestion here is, when you face a challenging situation, sit down comfortably and upright. Breathe deeply into your abdomen. There we go. I'm going to say, make that your womb space. Breathe deeply into your womb space. Wait until your breath flows calmly and softly and you feel totally relaxed. Then try to picture the situation you are going to be in, this challenging situation. You can now see or feel how it is going to be when you act from your center. So again, as women, aligning with this womb space, then we get to interact with our world in a way that is grounded and not in such flurry and emotion and ungrounded emotion, right? Feeling is so powerful. And when we're grounded in our feeling, then we are able to open to that space and communicate and create the boundaries that we need in challenging situations in particular. Hello, Jocelyn. Hello. And so the affirmation of this card, I just pulled a card for all of us here, this collective energy. The affirmation of this card is, the energy I now need lies in my center. Yeah. So again, womb space, center. When we confront and are with challenging situations, the womb space brings to it a more grounded level of experience and our own power. It's our inner self. It's our wisdom of womb. It's woman wisdom. And womb also brings with it an incredible connection to our intuition. So and then you can also work with your womb space to feel what it is in your life that are the challenges that you no longer need and that you can just let go of now with the power of this new moon, with the power of this eclipse. It is such a time in this window to really feel into, what are the things I'm ready to let go of? What are the things I may not be ready to let go of, but it's time. And since you, Jocelyn and Ellen, if you guys want to share, ladies want to share anything about what that is for you right now in your life, if there are things that are coming up for you that you're just know that you're letting go of in this window time, then feel free to share them. It's so powerful to be witnessed, and I shared mine at the beginning of this live. So yes, working with our challenges from a grounded space of our womb, letting go of all the things that no longer serve us right now, that are in the way and stagnating the energy of coming into the full courage of the truth of who you are in your weird, authentic, amazing, witchy ass self. That's what's going on around here. My letting go is breaking my heart open I've been so wrapped up with hurt, and it's been a huge release this past week. Jocelyn, wrapping your heart in so much nesty love. And as you know, turning that mother, divine mother energy that you carry inside of yourself, unto your heart, and holding that heart with your divine mother energy. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as I was saying, we're so good at feeling, we're so, those of us that are feelers as women, it just, the heart can feel so ripped open and gushed and aching and grieving for so many things in our lives and in the world. And again, Jocelyn, I know you have connection to womb space. So really dropping into connecting your womb with your heart so that there is that ground of womb space holding you while your heart is bursting and sad and crying and grieving. So then it feels more safe to break open and be held in your own womb temple while your heart is grieving. Just sending you both so much love. I find myself back into old habits. I'm in an in-between place. Yeah. And we could just get to, again and again, in the smallest ways, make the steps towards where we're going. That's what we can do. Sometimes those steps are big and sometimes they're tiny. And sometimes they're backwards. But we're always going forwards. So we got to remember. It's always forwards, even though sometimes it feels like it's going backwards. You are in a different space entirely now than you were yesterday. We're different every day, constantly growing. So sending you all love. And again, if you're watching the replay, feel free to drop your intentions for this new moon, eclipse energy, and sending so much love out there into the magical ethers. And we will connect again soon.